All right, welcome back to CentralValleyTalk.com. My next guest is the former mayor of Clovis. Not here to talk about government stuff today, though. We're here to talk about the Clovis Botanical Gardens and some of the big events they have coming up. Pat, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, tell me about the gardens. What's happening out there? Where are you first?
Well, number one, we are located on the corner of Clovis and Alluvial at the very north end of the Dry Creek Park. And if you look toward what we call the Poppy Gate, I think I have a picture of it here.
The Poppy Gate.
The Poppy Gate. It sounds like a scandal. There's the Poppy Gate. It sounds like a scandal.
Oh, that's
it's
pretty.
not. We had a local artist, a man named Mr. Rule Darling, who built that gate for us. The Clovis Botanical Garden, we are, number one, we are the only botanical garden between San Francisco and the Long Beach area, at least in this area. And what we do is we attempt to showcase what we like to call San Joaquin Valley friendly plants, things that grow well here in the valley, things that are sustainable, and so very important in these next few years, things that require minimal amounts of water.
Okay. Now, wait a minute. What's the difference between a garden and a botanical garden? You say you're the only botanical garden. So I know there are lots of nurseries and gardens around.
Right. We only sell plants on special occasions.
Oh,
so we are not really in the business of selling plants. We are in the business of educating the public. We're in the business of demonstrating our botanical culture in the area, which I think is very important. We have a historical culture. That's part of our culture. Our ethnicity and our diversity is part of our culture. Our food, our artwork. And I also believe that what grows in this area is very much a part of the culture. And so we demonstrate things that grow well in the temperate zone and things that you can have in a sustainable garden. And as I said before, things that don't require a lot of water. Now, we're not a bunch of fanatics that go around wearing dark jumpsuits at night and ripping up people's fescue lawn.
Maybe you should. But
Maybe we should. In fact, we say, well, if you want that lawn, have a small one. If you want that rose garden, put in a small one. And then put in these low water use, sustainable plants around there. So when the city tells you can only water once a week, you can put your water on your roses, and the rest of your yard will still be nice, and you won't use it all up. And I think I have some pictures on here of the established garden. We have an acre built out right now. That's one of our springtime gardens, and in the springtime we really rock. And we want to show that you can have all kinds of color. You can woo wildlife into your yard. You can have the salvia that blooms late into the summer, and there is a beautiful fall shot that I took walking through there in the fall. That plant is a red bird of paradise. It grows well out in the heat in July and August, and we have it growing out near the street. And a lot of times people go by on the street, and they come in and say, what in the world is that? And so oftentimes we think of low water use plants as some sort of gray-green thorn-covered thing that only a kangaroo rat could love. That's definitely not the case. And I guess that's a big reason of why we are here, to demonstrate to the public, to show them that you can have a low water use garden. You can have a beautiful yard. You don't have to have an English tea garden in order to have a beautiful yard. That seems to be what people want around here. You can plant like they do in the Mediterranean areas. You can plant like they do in Australia. And you can have beautiful landscaping and still have a sustainable yard that will be alive next September when your water has been cut back to nothing and all of those high-use water plants have died because of lack of water.
all right. You said you don't sell all the time, but you do sell during special events, which you
Yes.
have some coming up.
We have a couple of special events coming up. Number one, we have several children's events where we have children and families out to the garden, and we teach kids about gardening and landscaping and things like that. We give them pots and let them plant their own things, and they really get
Kids
off
love
on
to
that.
dig in the dirt.
We are open for schools to take field trips, and classes come through there all the time. But I think the biggest things that we've got coming up in the spring, number one, is our Spring Into Your Garden event. And if people are at all interested in doing their yards and doing their gardening and getting any information, I mean, this is an absolute must-see. You've got to come to this. It's on March 28th at the Clovis Botanical Garden, once again on Alluvial and Clovis Avenue.
Okay.
We will have a plant sale there. We will be selling plants where you can buy low water use, colorful, beautiful plants like salvia and other things that will look good in your yard. We have master gardeners giving people instructions on how to plant and how to maintain their yard. Susan Stilts, who used to run Tree Fresno, will be there and give private gardening instructions. And we even have a big honkin' barbecue with hamburgers. We have a great time. But it's just a wonderful opportunity to pick up on low water use plants, to see what we've done out there, to get ideas from us, to learn from the master gardeners, to learn from other people who are active. And this is a wonderful educational opportunity, and it's probably our signature event of the year. And once again, that is on March 28th. We're open at 9 o'clock. And then we're having a wonderful fundraiser on the 14th of May. Now, this is only going to cost you $25.
14th of May.
The 14th of May, starting at 5 o'clock. We call it Around the World in 80 Bites. We are starting now gardens from different areas around the world that are in the temperate zone that grow plants like we grow. And we just got a grant from Central Valley Waterwise Committee, and we've just put in our Mediterranean garden. And it's beautiful. It's still small. It's growing, but it's plants from the Mediterranean area. So in the Mediterranean garden, gee, I'd sure like to get our chef was on earlier. We're kind of thinking about doing a paella pan this year, if we can afford somebody to do that. Last year we had baklava and Italian sausages and different types of food and wine from Italy. We have a southwestern garden, which we have tamales and beer from the southwestern area, a California garden, which is a lot of California wines, fruit, nuts. We have a Chilean garden and an Australian garden, where someone right now who is from that area is going to be working on getting wine and beer from Australia and probably shrimp on the barbie and that sort of thing. And then you can walk through the garden and enjoy wonderful desserts while you just relax there. We have a great time. It's only $25, and once again, it's on May 14th, and it's at 5 o'clock. Starts at 5 o'clock in the evening.
And I bet you have a website where folks can get all that
And
information.
we have a website. I think it's probably posted on your screen, but it is www. all one word, lowercase, clovisbotanicalgarden.org.
clovisbotanicalgarden.org. Pat Wynne, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
You ever going to run for political office again?
I did it for 14 years.
I've
had it.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you very
Clovis
much.
Botanical Gardens here on Central Valley Talk.